Good morning, class. I am Mary Jane Ampil, your instructor for your subject, English. Okay, grade 9. Before we start, may I call on Ms. De Guzman to lead the prayer. Okay, thank you, Ms. De Guzman. Get ready, class, and make sure that you have stable connection so that you can easily cope with our discussion for today. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to first, identify conditional sentences. Second, construct sentences using zero conditional sentences. Third, complete the given sentences with appropriate conditional sentences. Fourth, apply zero conditional sentences in a composition writing. And last, value the importance of decision making. Now, before we discuss, you will be having an activity to measure what you already know about the topic that we're going to discuss. Okay, let us start. You will receive the paper strips. On the paper strips, there are sentences and two columns. The first columns are if clause, while the second columns are the action sentences. You will going to match the two columns to make a complete sentences. I will give you 7 minutes to finish your activity. Are you done? Okay, that's good. Now, if you come up with the following sentences, then you are correct. Now, have you ever had those crazy moments when you ask yourself weird questions like, what if we had power? Then probably that would be a perfect way to end this pandemic, right? Or what if there's no traffic here in the Philippines? Probably you should have caught up your sulking boyfriend, right? Okay, just kidding. Now, let's challenge our mind. I'll be presenting a picture that will consider an if clause. A picture that shows condition or possible outcomes, and you will try to give me the result or the possible outcomes in a particular causes. You will try to assume the possible outcomes by making if sentences. You get it? Of course, you got it. Now, the first picture is this man. What if this man hurt you? What is the possible outcome? Okay, that's good. You will be a very happy person in this world. Okay, the second picture is if you stand in the rain, what is the possible outcome? Okay, of course you will get wet. Now, the third picture is if you had a lot of money, what is the possible outcome? Oh, that's cool. You will buy a piece of land in the moon. Okay. Next, the fourth picture is if you drop the glass on the floor, what is the possible outcome? Of course, it breaks. Next, the last picture is what if Philippines is COVID-free? Okay, that's amazing. Everything will go back to normal. Okay, thank you for your participation. Now, I have questions for you. What have you noticed about the game we played? Okay, fun, interesting. What have you observed in the sentences? Okay, that's correct. The word if is constantly used in the sentences. How about the tenses? What tenses we used in the sentences a while ago? Okay, that's correct. We use simple tenses or present tenses. Do you have any idea when do we use if and when? Okay, thank you for your answer. Save it for later. Now, we surely notice that the word if is constantly used in our sentences. It is as if the condition has to be met, right? That is because these sentences are called conditionals. I am sure you might be asking, what is that? What are those conditionals, right? Before that, we will have a recap of what we discussed last time. Can you still remember our previous lesson? That's right. We just finished discussing the 4 function modals in the sentence. And what modals are? Yes, correct. Modals are auxiliary verb. That is because Modals give additional information about how the main verb functions in the sentences. The function of modals are permission, prohibition, obligation, and no obligation. What modals we use in permission? Okay, that's good. We use can, could, may, and might. How about in prohibition? What modals we used? Very good. We use cannot and mustn't. Next, what modals we use in obligation? Okay, that's good. Has or have to and must. What modals we use in no obligation? Very good. We use don't have to. Wow, it seems like you already know the modals very well. I am glad you learned so many things from our previous lesson. Remember, modals is just a short words, but these tiny words are important in English language, just like the conditionals. Yes, conditionals are tiny words, and those are if and when. What is conditional sentences? Conditional sentences are used to speculate about what could happen, what might have happened, and what we wish would happen. Condition, it refers to something that you must do or a situation that must exist in order for something to happen. In short, a conditional sentences is used to talk about the result that may happen only if a condition happens first. In English, most conditional sentences use the word if. Not all the time, but most of the time. And you have to remember that not all sentences that contain the word if are conditional sentences. The word if is a conjunction. It can be used other sentences the same way as any conjunction. So even though there is a word if, you can assume that there is already conditional sentences. There are 4 types of conditional sentences, but for today, we will only discuss the first type of conditional sentences. Before that, let us familiarize the basic structure in the conditional sentences. Regardless of what type of conditional sentences, all conditional sentences contains 2 parts. The if clause that depicts the condition and the main clause that depicts a result. Example. Let's have an example. If I understood what the teacher said, I could tell you. We can reverse the sentence. I could tell you if I understood what the teacher said. A quick review. A clause in English grammar is a group of words that includes subject and verb. So again, we have if clause and main clause, condition and result. The action and the main clause can only take place if a certain condition is fulfilled. We can reverse the sentence as what we did a while ago. It is also conditional sentences. We have if clause, the underlying clause in the sentence, and we have main clause. Take note, we do not need to use a comma in a sentence if the format of the sentence is just like this. Now let's move on to the first type of conditional sentences. Before that, I have a question. Are you good in guessing how things will turn out in the future? Have you ever had that moment when you took a guess of what was about to happen and then it did? Can people really tell what is going to happen in future? Definitely not. We cannot say for sure what will happen in the future. What we can do is take a guess as to what is going to happen. A smart guess based on observation and experience. Now let us see if you can guess. As what I have said earlier, If clause is a condition that has to be met for the result clause to take place. Okay, make a pair with your classmates. Prepare paper and pen. Are you ready? Of course you're ready. I will call some pair of students to give a possible outcomes of the if clause that I will be giving to you. Try to think as many as you can and write it down so you can get a bigger chance of guessing it right. Are you ready? Of course. Let us call the activity What Will Happen Next. Activity What Will Happen Next? The first sentence. If you do not finish your assignment, what will happen next? Okay, your answer is you will get a low grade. If you do not finish your assignment, you will get a low grade. Let me guess, you write the sentence, if you do not finish your assignment, your teacher will be angry. Okay, that's right, that's fine. You answer based on your experiences. Next, the second sentence is, what will happen next if you freeze water? Of course, obviously, it will become ice. Next, the next sentence is, if you touch fire, what will happen next? Of course, you will get burned. You will get burned. For the fourth sentence, if it rains, what will happen next? Very good, you will get wet. Now, for the last sentence, if you do not go after what you want, what will happen next? Yes, that's right, you will not successful in life. Now, I have conditional sentence for you. If you do not go after what you want, you will never have it. Life is a game. You live, so you play. So if you just go around waiting for miracles to happen, you are wasting your time. The world will not stop for you. Do not chase your crush who doesn't like you back. Chase your dream. Just kidding. Okay, you might be wondering why we are talking about possibilities in the future. That is because we will be talking about the conditional that deals with possible outcomes. And that is zero conditional. It is also called factual condition because it is used to express truths and facts, the things that are really happening and are existing around us. It can also be used to express habits, instructions, and rules. Basically, the zero conditionals give us an if clause and result clause that is definitely going to happen because that is just the way it is. Example, if you heat water above 100 degrees Celsius, it boils. We cannot change that. It is a fact. The boiling temperature of water is 100 degrees Celsius. Any temperature above that will surely boil. It's a fact. We cannot change that. Next example is if the sun sets, it gets dark. That is a fact. Again, we cannot change that. If the sun sets in the west, the lights in our home, in our streets, start to turn on since it will be very dark without sun. Okay, now let us take a look at how simple it is to form the zero conditional. Simple because we use present simple verb in both clause, right? You get it? Of course you did. Now, you might be asking why or when we use if and when. Are they the same? Well, they're almost the same. However, there is a slight difference in how they are used and what they are trying to express. The difference of if and when. We use if when there is a chance that the action may or may not happen. If it does happen, then we know what the result will be and we are certain about it. For example, if babies are hungry, they cry. There is a chance that babies are hungry, and if they do, they cry. Babies may hungry or not. We use when we are sure that the action will take place or happen. For example, when babies are hungry, they cry. In this sentence, we might not be sure when the action will happen, but we know it will. We know that babies are hungry. It is just we are not sure when the babies are hungry. The difference of if and when is subtle, but it's very important. As what I have said earlier, we can express habits using zero conditionals. It goes like this. When I feel sad, I think about BTS K-pop group. This sentence shows that whenever I feel sad, I have a habit of thinking BTS, probably to release stress by watching their videos and performance. Got it? Okay. Now, as what I have said a while ago, we can give instruction using zero conditionals. For example, if my boyfriend calls, tell him to meet me at exactly 8 o'clock p.m. Notice that the result clause becomes an imperative statement. I am giving an instruction. I am telling you what to do. Did you understand? Of course you did. Also, zero conditionals can express rules. It goes like this. You can enter the mall if you have vaccination card. Remember that if clause and the result clause are best friends. As you can see, our sentence says the two clauses are working with each other like a quality of good friendship. Did you get it? Of course you did. Remember that conditional can be used in expressing a stand or an argument. Expressing an argument is helpful in presenting one's reasoning to change another person's point of view on a particular topic or issue. Conditionals may be helpful in persuading others to move or act and even change their thoughts. For your group activity, okay, we just finished our discussion for our topic for today. Make a group of 5. Each group will be given copies of the comic strip named Kathy. After reading the comic strip, the groups need to work together to complete the if clauses. The group can use the information provided by the mother in the strip or just make a logical ending. Example, Kathy says, if I only were not so fat, and the result will be, I could wear my new dress. I would feel better. Okay. Now, are you done? Okay, now get ready to present your work. Thank you, class, for your participation. Okay, I am sure that you already learned a new information from our topic. Now let's have a writing composition. Have you had any regrets in your life? Shortcomings which can have been avoided. Write a short essay on the importance of proper decision making. Apply your knowledge in zero conditional sentences. Okay, now, are you done writing your essay? Not yet. You can pass your work until 5 o'clock p.m. For those already done, you can pass it to our Google Classroom. Okay, now let us move on. Now, to measure what you can achieve, let us have your first quiz. I will post the questions and you have 20 minutes to answer your quiz. Be ready. No cheating. Okay, after answering your quiz, pass it on our Google Classroom. You can answer it until midnight and give your best in answering your first quiz. Here is your quiz for the total of 10 points. Okay, for your assignment, practice writing zero conditionals and try to think about the things that are really happening to you or around you. No need to submit it on our classroom, just practice what you learned in our topic for today. And that is the end of our class for today. That is a blast, and I hope you had an amazing time with me. Thank you for your participation. Thank you, class, and goodbye.